Hello everyone. So again I am back with a new topic, but this time proceeding with previous one. Okay. A saying is that a great start is half done. Means if you are starting in the right way, it means that you have half achieved your target, what you want to achieve. So the problem is that we are not able to understand that what we should do and what we should not to reach to that goal, what we are means targeting or what we are hoping to achieve. So first of all, here in the field of academics, when we are targeting towards bigger goal like IITs, NEET colleges, like government MBBS colleges, all are just just milestone to achieve, and it is a great achievement in itself. So to achieve to that goal, we have to cross a difficult path. So here chemistry is also a subject in these exams, and obviously I am here to help you with this chemistry subject and in interesting way. So the thing I want to convey here is that in previous video we have discussed about mole, right? In that video we have discussed about what is mole, how we can express mole, how we can calculate number of moles, and in what terms we can say that what is mole, and in various terms how we can relate from mass or from volume and these type of things. So now again proceeding with that topic, I have a different term called concentration. So just as I said that a right start is half done. So what do you think when for example I'm saying that just take this apple. Okay, so whenever I say a word apple, your mind will analyze a red color or green color, whatever apple you have observed in your life, that your mind will immediately analyze in itself, and you will, just by listening the word apple, you will imagine an apple in your mind. Similarly, this is the greatest way to understand something. If you are not able to imagine something related to that term, it means you are simply cramming. For example, I will tell a word, just means whatever, a word I can say that you don't understand the meaning that. For example, any French language or any German language, what we don't know, if I pronounce a word that you will not able to memorize, or say that you will not be able to understand. Okay, so if that term you you understand the meaning of that term. For example, I will tell you, in class I think 11th or 12th, there was a chapter, the last lesson. Okay, so in that English chapter there was a line in French language that was vive la France. Okay, so now that word, I knew that, I'm remembering that word just because I knew the meaning, that was long live France. So now similarly, as that foreign language I have memorized just because I am able to understand the meaning of that word, similarly every word that we are reading in science or in social science or in Sanskrit, whatever subject you say, every time you have to understand the meaning of that term. So now if I am talking about concentration, what do we mean by concentration? What it is? What you analyze by the word concentration? Simple thing that one can understand. If in primitive if in beginning days, we know that honey is more concentrated than a water. Okay, I can say oil is more concentrated than water. It means we are just relating concentration with the term density. Okay, it will be more precise that if I say that honey is more denser than water, then it's then saying that honey is more concentrated than water. Now what is the difference between these two terms? It is very, I will say it is very minute difference in these two terms. So for now I am focusing on the word concentration. Now what does it mean? Concentration is generally used for a thing that is called solution. Okay, means if I am studying a solution, any solution I will say, for example, if you are mixing any substance, for example, you can say that you are mixing sugar plus water. If I am mixing the two components, sugar and water, I am simply making a solution of sugar and water. Now I have various situations. I can say that if I will dissolve 2 gram of sugar with 100 gram of water. And in other case, if I am dissolving 10 gram plus 100 gram water, means it is sugar and it is water. Now what will happen if I analyze unit volume of that solution? For example, solution is filled to this extent. Okay, now I am analyzing a unit volume of this solution, means it is the unit volume of the solution. If I am analyzing this, if I found that here it is 3 crystal of sugar in 1 centimeter cube of solution. Okay, I'm measuring crystal, I'm measuring in term crystal the sugar, because so that we can easily understand the concept. And now if I similarly here analyze the 1 centimeter cube of the solution, it is volume, right? So if I analyze here, I will say that here it is only 1 crystal of sugar in 1 centimeter cube of solution. Now in unit volume of solution, again in unit volume of solution, if I am measuring the entity of solute, we know that solution is made up of 2 terms called solute and solvent. Means solution always comprises 2 components, solute and solvent. It can comprise more than 2 components, but obviously there is one solvent and others are solute. So now solute is dissolved in a solvent and solute is present in normally lesser quantity and solvent is present in larger quantity. It is general situation. So as I am saying, again coming to the point, in unit volume of solution, the entity or the quantity of that solute present in that is known as concentration. So now we can say that here in 1 centimeter cube or unit volume of solution, here I am having only 3 crystal of sugar, or here in 1 centimeter cube of solution, or again I can say unit volume of solution, I have 1 crystal. So which will be more concentrated? Obviously this one is more concentrated. Okay, so here is the difference, that what is less concentration and what is more concentration. I hope that you are able to understand this. Now it was the whole theory about the concentration, that how can we say that what is concentration and how can we imagine the term concentration. Now the thing is that fine, here I have dissolved a specified amount 2 gram plus 100 gram, but solution can be in large amount, right? It can be, and what if I have mixed only 0.11 gram of sugar? What if I have dissolved 20 gram of sugar in 1000 kg of water? Whatever the hypothetical situation can be, right? And in chemical solutions, in chemical compounds, whenever solutions are made, the solute are generally present in very less quantity. Whenever we do any practicals, we have to dissolve very less quantity of solute generally in a solution. So now in that term we should have, okay, one more thing, that what if I have measured the value or the quantity of solvent in volume? What if I have dissolved liquid and liquid also solvent, solute can also be liquid. Now it is not compulsory that always solute will be solid only. Okay, liquid and liquid solutions are also there. So now for all these questions we should have a definite term or definite quantity so that we can measure the concentration. For example, considering concentration as any other physical quantity like length. For measuring length we have different units like length, like meter, centimeter, kilometer, millimeter. Depending on the necessity we use our unit. Okay, similarly whenever we are measuring the concentration of any solution, we use different type of terms depending on necessity or depending on the situation. So we have some general terms. For example, now it was the answer for what is concentration. Now the question is how concentration is measured, or this question can be replaced by the way that in what ways, what are ways to calculate concentration. These are the two things that we need to answer now. How concentration is measured, or what are ways to calculate concentration. So now I have different terms again, as I have told you. First one and most easiest way to calculate is mass percentage or volume percentage. Next term is mole fraction. After that, here comes molarity. Next is molality, and lastly it is normality. Okay, so first of all I will tell you that for calculating all these things we need to know how number of moles are calculated. Means concept of mole should be cleared before understanding these things, so you have to go to first means previous video before this, that is title is what is mole. So in that video you will be able to understand what is mole, and after that you can follow this video. And now next thing is that these all are the 5 points, I mean 5 ways to calculate the concentration. So now normality is most lengthy way, or I can say that most complicated numericals on these topics are there. But the thing is that for all these terms we have a direct formula, right? For example, mole fraction is having a formula, molarity is having a formula, every term is having its own formula. But the problem arises when these two terms have to be interrelated. For example, in a question they are giving you mole fraction but they are asking to calculate molarity. The problem arises there only. So I will tell you one thing, that what happens in CBSE in class 11th, when we are doing these type of questions, we have a in CBSE means in subjective papers we have a proper method to go on step by step, so that how can we relate these two terms. It has a particular ways, or I mean to say that it has particular process or concept, whatever you can say. But when we are going to mains exam, so here questions are objective. They are not checking the way how you are solving the question. They are just checking your answers, that you are marking the correct answer or not. So when it comes to objective questions, now nowadays schools are also giving you objective questions, right? So when we are going to objective questions, we should know a short tricks also, so that we can relate these terms. So I will tell you both. For subjective questions you should know actually, you should not ignore that. You should know a lengthy or a more explained way to reach to our terms, and that short trick also you should be aware, so that you can solve your question or you can check your question through a shorter trick. Okay, so both are important, and we will go on step by step. In this mass percentage and mole fraction will not take that much time. After that we have to do molarity, molality and normality, and then topic of concentration term will be complete. Okay. So my first term or first way to calculate concentration of any solution is mass percentage. It is actually known as mass of solute dissolved in 100 gram of solution. Means how much amount of solute I have dissolved in 100 gram of solution is known as mass percentage. Okay, but if I want to calculate in terms of solvent, I can do that also. If I want to calculate mass percentage of solute, I will tell you the formula now. Formula is, if I want to calculate mass percentage of solute in any solution, that will be mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. And next is, if I want to calculate mass percentage of solvent, it will be mass of solvent upon mass of solution into 100. So now I will give you a question so that we can understand. It is literally very easy question, very easy formula. If a question is saying that 10 gram of solute is dissolved in 130 gram of solvent, what is mass percentage of solute in solution? Now here the thing is that we have to calculate mass percentage of solute. Here by seeing the formula, I can say that I need mass of solute and mass of solution to calculate my required quantity. Understood? Now the thing is that in this question, mass of solute is given. Mass of solute is already given, that is 10 gram. But they have given mass of solvent rather than mass of solution. So what will be the mass of solution? Obviously that will be mass of solute plus mass of solvent. So now here 10 plus 130 is equals to 140 gram. Okay. Now mass percentage of solute will be mass of solute, that is 10 gram, and mass of solution, that is 140 gram into 100. And now here you can see 100 upon 14. You can do further calculation. I'm not going to do that obviously. So you have to calculate it. That will be the required answer. So now here you can see that this type of question can be given in only one or two ways, that they will simply give you mass of solute and mass of solvent both, or they will give you mass of solute and mass of solution. Based on the requirement you have to use that if they are giving you mass of solvent and mass of solute, then you can calculate mass of solution by adding these two. And if they are giving directly mass of solute and mass of solution, that obviously you don't need to do that step. And if they are giving you again mass of solvent and mass of solution, then you have to calculate mass of solute by subtracting the term mass of solvent from mass of solution. So these are the three conditions that these questions can be molded. I will tell you that this is very easiest way or very easiest term that we need to calculate. Okay. After that, here comes a mole fraction. We will do that too. Our next term is mole fraction. Mole fraction is simply referring to the fraction of mole present in the solution of that component. Before going on the formula, I will tell you the story behind this mole fraction. Suppose there is a solution in which a component, second component is B. Two components are present. Okay. Now if moles of A means number of mole of A that is present in the component is Na, and B number of moles of B present in the solution is Nb. Now if I want to calculate mole fraction of A in the solution, it will be represented by a symbol called chi. It is not X, it is chi. It is a Greek word just like pi. Okay. So mole fraction of mole fraction of A, that is chi A, will be equals to number of moles of A present there and number of moles of A plus number of moles of B. I will add one thing, that if I have to add more components in the solution, for example, now my solution is containing A plus B plus C plus D also, then if I have to calculate mole fraction of A in that case where the solution is having 4 components, then what will I do? I will just write Na divided by Na plus Nb plus Nc plus Nd, means in a numerator number of moles of that component will be taken which have to be calculated, and in denominator total number of moles of all the components present in the solution we will take. So here, as we are having only 2 components in the solution, we will go by this formula. Now similarly, if I want to calculate mole fraction of B, it will be Nb divided by Na plus Nb. Okay, now here is a fact that mole fraction is always less than 1. How? Obviously, numerator is divided by the sum of all the component. Then obviously denominator will be more than the numerator and value will come out to be less than 1. One more thing I will add here, that always total mole fraction of all the components present in the solution. For example, here 2 components are there, then always mole fraction of these components sum to be 1. If there are 3 or 4 components, then sum of all the mole fractions of the component will come out to be 1. How we will get that? For example, I want to achieve to this solution. Now, chi A can be written as Na divided by Na plus Nb plus Nb by Na plus Nb. Now what will be happening? Denominator is same, so we will just add on like that, Na plus Nb divided by Na plus Nb, and obviously numerator and denominator are same, then value will come out to be 1. So here is all concept behind mole fraction. So we will do one question also based on this concept. It will not take that much time. Just note this. Question will be, suppose if 6 gram of urea, that is NH2CO NH2, is dissolved in 10 or say you can take simple 36 gram of water, what is mole fraction of urea and water? First of all, the question arises that what I need for the calculation, as mole fraction of urea will be equals to number of moles of urea divided by number of moles of urea plus number of moles of water. Okay, so now if I want to calculate number of moles, what I have to take? Number of moles of urea will be equals to given weight of urea, that is 6 gram, divided by molar weight of urea, that is 60, and that will be 0.1 mole. Now next is number of moles of water, that will be equals to given mass is 36, molar mass is 18, and that is 2 mole. Now just put on this formula in this value. Number of mole of urea is 0.1 divided by 0.1 plus 2, that is 0.1 by 2.1. That will be mole fraction. Decimal cancelled, it will be 1 by 21. Just solve this. And now if I want to calculate mole fraction of water, I have 2 methods, I have 2 ways. I can simply put on the formula like mole fraction of water is equals to number of moles of water by number of moles of urea plus number of mole of water, or simply mole fraction of urea should be subtracted from 1. So we will do that only. if you have easier path, then why to go with this long term? 1 minus mole fraction of urea by 1 minus 1 by 21, that will be 20 by 21. So now here is the all about mole fraction. Now the question, I said now, problem will arise when we have to interrelate these two concentration terms, but obviously we will interrelate only when we are able to understand independent terms. So for this, here it is all about mass percentage and mole fraction. In this video we have discussed about what is concentration, how we can calculate concentration, and two methods of calculating concentration. So just all the best, and be with us for a long time, and we will help you to get the basic concept about chemistry. As I have already informed you that we can connect or we can contact offline also. If you want to be with us in offline way, as I think that always fine, online is better when we are at distance, but offline, or we can say that interaction, eye to eye interaction is way much better. So just contact me, you can comment me on my YouTube channel for this, and I am living in Faridabad sector 3, so any nearby people who wants to join us offline can contact. Thank you and have a nice day.